Come on, Mike. Man, we got to introduce ourselves. I'll do it. Welcome to Two Dudes in a Garage.
Good morning, friends. We are back again. Go ahead.
This is Two Dudes in a Garage, episode 4. We record them out here and we distribute them on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock. So we decided this time to...
We're going live.
We're going to record it live.
See what happens.
We've never done it before, so we really don't know how we're doing it, or if we're doing it right, or we're doing it wrong, or
hopefully we're right.
Hopefully it's right. So thanks for coming on this journey with us. For all the people that have watched our first 3 episodes, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. We just put our opinions out there, and
we want to give glory to God.
All the glory to God. All the glory, always.
Without God, nothing's possible.
That is 100% correct. This episode is going to be about the debate that went down Thursday and about the presidential race and our thoughts on it. Obviously, you can see our our Trump stuff.
Yeah, we got Trump, the Terminator Trump. We got Magic Mike, and we got Little Mike. He's back for his 4th show.
Yeah, they've always been even though Mike just got back from the beach, he's back in town.
I've been chilling at the beach and volleyball, Orlando and Surfside.
So I've had to do it by myself.
And he's done a pretty good job.
I'm a lot more serious when I'm by myself than I'm with Mike. So the guys that are checking in or checking out this video, thanks.
Thank you.
We really don't know what you're supposed to do or what we're supposed to do, but we just wanted to do this so you can see how we record our shows, and hopefully we're getting better and better at it. Hopefully you agree with some of the thoughts, and even if you don't disagree, thanks for watching.
Agree or disagree.
And that's supposed to be the beauty of America, is that you can voice your opinions or voice what you want to talk about, and it's okay to disagree about them as long as you're kind.
And opinions are like...
don't go there. I know where you're going with it.
But anyway,
hopefully, if you're planning on voting, and hopefully you do, please vote, no matter which way you go. We want you to vote. It's your duty as a citizen of the United States to vote. Of course, we know which way we want you to vote, but if you do, you do, or not. But just at least vote. You can't sit there and complain if you don't vote. You can't say stuff about where you want the country to go if you don't put your civil duty in there.
Well, you got to do your homework. You got to do fact checking.
True facts, and don't just get your information from TikTok or us or Fox or CNN. Research things that are said and research the candidates. Find out about them. Listen to what their policies are. So much is being said right now about Donald Trump and who the person he is, convicted felon, all that stuff. But look at the policies, and the best thing I can say about it, and if he would just say it and just stick to that, is look how your life was under Trump, and then look how your life is under Biden. And if you can honestly say it's better, then good for you. You're in the minority.
It was a lot better with Trump.
Like that TikTok thing where he showed the 45 items, paid $115 in 2022, and now it's like, what, $416?
Yeah, a guy bought groceries, and he did this back in 2021, 2022, and it was like 45 items. I think he paid like $150 for them. And he showed where he bought the same items in 2024, and there's about $400 something.
Yeah,
that's not better. That's taking us down.
Yeah,
I can't afford that.
No, I can't afford that.
I can't afford the gas. Trump come out of office, the gas was $1.60, $1.50, and now I was in Florida the other day, and it was almost $4 a gallon. That's ridiculous.
It's hard for people to get back and forth to work. God bless these Uber drivers and these Uber Eats people, man.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know how they make any money.
Can't make no money.
But it's rough on everybody, and as far as that goes, that's my speech for that. Hopefully you watch the debate. You didn't just see the clips about it. I think this might be the first time I watched the entire debate because it's so important. And I watched it because I wanted to give an honest opinion on how it was. I think a lot of Americans that are paying attention were waiting to see how Joe Biden reacted how he was, and I think, and we're going to talk about that a lot. I think
Joe's too old.
Absolutely, and that's sad. Like we're going to go through the talking points about the debate and stuff, but that's the one thing
he needed some Geritol.
He needed something, man.
He was struggling.
That's one thing I came away, and I never thought I'd come away. I honestly felt sorry for Joe Biden.
I did feel sorry
at the end of the debate, and I felt sorry for him. Like it's just elderly abuse, man. Like
on that, and then him and Trump was going tit for tat. I mean, come on. Let's talk about the issues, the real issues.
Yeah, the golf
from both sides.
So I'm going to start pretty much at the beginning and go over some of the stuff and see what your reaction is. Did you roll your eyes, man?
Oh Lord.
Well, the first thing, stupid man, I can't stay serious, man.
I'm sorry. My bad.
So the first thing, and I don't know if you noticed this, the first thing I noticed was when he walked out. When Joe walked out, he looked frail, and the walk that everybody said was it was fake clips or whatever. He looked weak.
He looked weak and frail.
And he had that zoned out look in his face. That's the first thing I noticed.
Kind of like me, my husband. But anyway.
I mean, that's the first thing I noticed. Before we really get into it, the other thing I will say is that the Tapper and that young lady,
I think they did a good job.
I think they did a great job. Like, I was really concerned because of their hatred for Trump that it wasn't going to be fair. But they asked tough questions to both candidates. They were very considerate to Trump, even though they don't like him.
I don't think neither one of them answered the questions all the way to the fullest effect.
Oh, 100%.
They kept blaming each other for something they did back in the day, and then the other one, the rebuttal, and it just. Let's talk about the issues. Talk about the border.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about these taxes. They want to charge us more taxes. It's crazy.
And it started out. The first bumble I saw from Biden was he said he created 15,000 jobs.
I don't think.
I know what he meant. He meant to say like 15 million or 150 million or whatever. But that's the thing that caught me off guard to begin with was like he's like, since you left office, we created 15,000 jobs. I'm like, way to go, Joe. I mean, rock it out, huh?
And then he kept talking about COVID.
Yeah, he mentioned COVID.
And he was talking about 15,000 jobs. Well, the jobs were already there, just people going back to work.
Yeah, from after.
I don't see where he created much of anything.
Well, they shut down so much stuff, and both Trump.
But that's my opinion.
To be absolutely 100% transparent and honest, Trump was part of the shutdowns too, and the COVID disaster I think was handled wrong all the way across the board. But that's where just like you said, that's where the jobs came back from. It was just jobs got shut down because the business, everything locked down, closed down.
Well, how many jobs they lose when Biden came in and shut the pipeline down?
Hey, that was day one.
I mean, that was, 50,000 jobs, something like that? Yeah. That's ridiculous.
And that's what got us away from our energy independence.
Yeah.
We're begging other countries for gas. And,
why should we have to go to another country and beg for gas when we have all our supplies here?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We don't need to. We don't need to depend on another country for what we have already.
I mean, that was.
Why should we be buying food from other countries? We can go out here and we can grow our own stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the things Biden said too. He said about the tariffs Trump wants to do in other places, and I thought to myself, the first thought that came to my mind, and I'm not an economist or I'm not smart enough to know about these other people do, but why would we worry about tariffs from other countries and how that's going to raise prices on our stuff? Why don't we just make the stuff ourselves? Go back to American stuff.
Go back to made in USA. Buy our own product.
Yeah. And
take care of our military. I mean, you're putting these foreigners, these illegals that's crossing the border, you're putting them in high-rise hotels, and you're giving them $15,000 a month is what I've read. Now, I don't know how true that is, but what about our veterans that's out on the street? Why can't we take care of our own people before even Ukraine? Why should we have to go do all that with Ukraine? We can't even take care of our own people.
Absolutely. I
don't mind helping people, but help our own people first.
And that was one of the things I thought Donald Trump did a very good job about in the debate too, as well, was talking about Ukraine. Man, I feel, again, I'm not a smart enough person. I just look at things from common sense. But I feel for the people in Ukraine, and I
do feel for them.
And I know that how I would feel if they came and tried to interfere and take over land in our country. But at what point is one too much is too much? Like, what's the off ramp of getting out of Ukraine? You know, what is your goal? You can't just say we'll just keep sending you money until as long as you need it. There's got to be some kind of off ramp.
It's gonna be like the Gulf War. Look how many years we wasted over there. It looked like Vietnam. It's a money pit. It is. I don't agree with it. I agree to protect our assets, our country. I don't mind helping other countries, but like I said, we just got to protect our own first.
And you imagine that money that we sent over there if we put it back into our system for like veterans, homeless. You talk about how you want to help people and you've done such a great job for veterans, and yet we give more money to Ukraine than we ever given to veterans. The other thing they were talking about the national debt, and to be honest with you, both of them sucked at the national debt. Our debt is so out of control right now.
Well, that's the whole government. It don't matter Democrat, Republican. They all spend our tax dollars, and we're the ones left to deal with it. I mean,
10 years Social Security's gone, man.
When I go to retire, I won't have nothing to retire on. If I don't set aside now, I won't have nothing to retire on. There won't be no government help. Is the way I believe.
And then going on into the debate, he said 0 troops died on his watch, and well, that really irked my tail because, and you remember when Afghanistan and those 13 men and women soldiers got killed, man, I was pissed. I was very angry because I'm a United States Marine. And I'm a United States Marine, and the lack of accountability and the lack of respect that he didn't pay to those men and women irked my tail. And then the watch thing where he was looking at his watch during the funeral, man, no commander-in-chief should ever do that.
Not even that. They didn't even recognize the soldiers. You know, they're just a number.
Well, and then they say 0 died on his watch.
Yeah.
Those 13 should be in your mind, Joe. Like, I know you're in La La Land somewhere or whatever, but every night you go to bed, you should still, as commander-in-chief, think about those 13 men and women.
And what about the citizens they left over there?
Absolutely.
U.S. citizens.
And then
they left all the military equipment. Why would you do that to your enemies? Why would you just give them here, happy birthday? Why would you give them a gift like that?
To use against us.
It's ridiculous.
Afghanistan is one of the issues that Joe Biden and me are way off.
And you know, Trump's not perfect. Don't get us wrong.
100%.
I think Trump's got better qualities than Biden.
Well, the thing about Trump, and I use this all the time when I talk to people about it, is you never knew what he was going to do. I love the thing he said about when he was talking to Putin, and Trump said that he said, let me tell you, and I can't talk like Trump, but Putin daggone, hey Putin, if you go into Ukraine, I'm gonna bomb you.
Yeah. And
Putin's like, no, you won't. And Trump's like, I might. And you know what? Nobody ever knew whether the guy was really going to do it or not. And you know, and what he said was 100% true. Trump said under Bush, Putin took land in Ukraine. Under Obama, Putin took land in Ukraine. Under Joe Biden, Putin took land in Ukraine. Under Donald Trump, Putin didn't take any land from Ukraine. And, you know, and every time somebody would kind of talk a little trash to us, he would shut them down real fast. Like, they were scared to death what he would do. They're like, this guy's crazy enough, man. He might just blow us off, man. I mean, and he protected us that way, you know.
The biggest thing I see, and a lot of people I know that don't like Trump, is he tweets, he says what he wants to say, and sometimes he goes a little bit too far with it, and he don't know how to close his mouth. He keeps running and running. That's where he gets into trouble.
I can understand. I do the same thing.
But I like Trump. I like Biden, but Biden's just not good for our economy. I don't think he's good for the country. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, and then at the 12-24 mark is when he lost it. And I will say this. When he started going down that rabbit hole, I was like, And in my mind, I was going, dude, please get it back together, dude. Like, get it back together. And because it's like, I want this to be a fair debate. I want you to answer your things. I want this to be about your policies. And then Tapper did say, he goes, okay, thank you, Mr. President, because he was going off the deep end. Like, he didn't know what he was talking about. You could tell he had just lost it at 12:24. And he was gone. Like, it was over.
And they stopped him, so he didn't go no further.
Yeah. And dude, I honestly, I wasn't mad at Tapper for doing that. Like, I kind of was like, cool, man. Because he was going down a rabbit hole. He wasn't coming out.
He's still our president.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And that was one of the things that really bothered me about Joe. And if you love your country, whether you're Republican or Democrat, you really don't want to see our commander-in-chief looking like that. And I said it a lot on different news channels, how other countries watched this and laughed at us. And, man.
Well, they've been laughing for the last 4 years. Yeah, but
that's scary, man. Like, this is that one time where they can't say, well, you guys just cut it or edited it or some deep fake. Everybody that I knew, it was live.
Kind of like this.
Like, well, yeah. We screwed up. We screwed up. You guys can check it out, man. But it was live, man. People saw that, and it was scary. That's when he was daggone, right up to that 12:24. He was like,
did it?
Do what?
Good time, sensitive.
What I do?
Nothing. Go ahead.
You know we're live, man.
Go ahead. I know we're live.
You just gonna tap me or something, man?
Nah, you good.
But he's talked about the Roe versus Wade answer and then he immediately went from Roe versus Wade to stumbling and mumbling about women being killed on your watch, Trump. And I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? They were killed by immigrants, and I was like, Joe, what are you talking about? Like, I mean, what you're saying is absolutely true. They are these poor women that are being killed by immigrants right now. It's bad. I mean, any people being killed by anybody is bad. But, I mean, that's bad. But, Joe, what are you talking about? And that really got me. I was like, Joe, you just admitted about your presidency. And then the other thing that he was talking about, that he said about his presidency.
Well, he contradicted himself.
Oh, 100%. You know, he talked about how he did the drug thing, the $35 and the $15. He couldn't figure out which one it was, $15 or $35. It was.
Then he started jumping around, kind of like I do.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, I've been his list here. We're going to go down. You just got all over the place. That's good, man. I told him, man, he's the funny guy. Like,
I ain't funny guy. I'm just
really.
This is my funny guy, Little Mike. Imagine Mike.
Gosh.
Now we got Terminator Trump, so we good to go.
Let's see. I liked when Trump called Biden Brandon.
Oh yeah, he did call him Brandon. I think he got it on their skin.
I don't think Joe knew what he was talking about. Like, if you watched it, man,
Joe was like, "Who's Brandon?"
if you haven't watched it, check out at least the highlights. And us making jokes about how I didn't know, he really didn't. I don't think. Like, I have never seen anybody like that wild eye. He just stared.
He kept his mouth open too.
Yeah, and he just and then every once in a while he'd slowly bring his hand
with an ink pen.
With an ink pen.
I'd wait for it to fly to go in his mouth.
Dude, I was like, at first I'm like, what the heck's he got in his hand?
That would have been funny.
And he kept looking down, and to my knowledge, they weren't allowed with like cue cards or notes or anything, were they?
Nope.
So what was he looking down at?
I think he was just talking in the mic. Am I doing okay? Am I all right? Testing 1, 2, 3.
You think he had somebody in his ear talking to him?
Yeah.
I mean, whoever it was should be fired. Like, Donald, you need to do that. You're fired.
Fired.
Whoever was in his ear, because they really screwed it up. And then he talked about the military and stuff, and he said, "Don't say my son's a loser." Talking about the thing that's been debunked a million times about how Trump supposedly said that the people in the military were losers. And then he kind of got hyped up and yelled at Trump, "My son was not a loser." Yeah. And he always talks about his son. And I've heard so many different stories about how his son died. And that's one of the things I wanted to research. And I'm going to dive deep into it because I've heard so many different ways that his son has died. And during the debate, he talked about how he died in Iraq. But I thought he died of like some diseases or something.
I don't know. I thought it was a car wreck.
Or a car wreck or something. Yeah.
I heard a car accident or something.
Maybe that's his wife. And I really I need to be better informed. But so many stories he's told, like his uncle was a cannibal or something.
Yeah.
I mean, I never know what he's going to say,
Joe don't know. Never know what he's going to say.
I mean, well, that's true, but man, you got to tell the truth a little bit. And I know, dude, I get it. Donald Trump, he exaggerates a lot, dude. He's always the best at everything. He's done a great job. I get it. And I know he's arrogant, but but he's very arrogant, and I like it. But his stories are like the guy that goes out fishing and he comes back, instead of catching that 1 foot fish, he caught a 4 foot fish.
Yeah.
That's how Trump's are. Joe won't even go fishing, and he'll be like, "Man, last night I caught a 12-foot fish." Like, dude, you didn't even go fishing. I mean, there's a difference between exaggerating a little bit and just like not even telling the truth. And the stuff that he doesn't tell the truth about, nobody really cares. Like, nobody's holding against him or going for him because of that son that passed away. Now the other son, now he got defensive. He didn't even defend Hunter.
Well, he got on his laptop.
Yeah, Trump got a little defensive when he called him the convicted felon. And I did like the line Trump said about how, well, Joe, your son's a convicted felon, and you might be when you get out of office too, because all the stuff you did, which is true, man. Like, the thing that people don't understand about prosecuting a sitting president is that you've opened up the door for every Democrat, Republican, anyone that doesn't like you, or if you're going against them, you open up the door for them to do it to them. Well, it's like the impeaching thing they did with Trump.
That, and they keep talking about him and this porn star and had sex and all that. But what did Bill Clinton do?
Well,
he got
a Hummer.
He got down in the Oval Office.
And that was sick that she kept the dress.
And she kept the dress. And he paid her off.
Yeah, I mean,
but you don't hear nothing about that.
That's not the only one that Clinton paid off.
No,
he paid off a lot of them.
Yeah, Clinton was a whore. I'm a boy, Clinton.
I mean, no disrespect. I'm a God-fearing man.
Clinton likes women.
If you went home to Hillary,
what an ugly ass. I mean, excuse my language. Ugly Hillary Clinton. Chelsea ain't no better. I ain't no pretty thing, but good Lord.
You can't be dogging on Chelsea. She's not a child anymore. She's old now.
Maybe she had plastic surgery.
But if I went home to Hillary, I'd
kill myself.
That's terrible.
I know. That's bad. I couldn't go home to that. There ain't no way, brother.
You pull out your pride flag and be like, Bill, you looking pretty good.
I ain't got no pride flag.
I know. I'm just saying.
I dang. I don't blame Clinton. I don't blame him.
For going out on her?
For Bill.
I don't think I think he should have never married her. But
we're getting off the subject.
Okay, yeah.
We're doing like the
Joe. We're doing Joe.
And Trump did. We're rebuttaling each other.
Oh, and then speaking of the military, Joe talked about how during Trump's watch, the military was bombed by Iran, and all you said it was headaches, which is crazy because that literally is on Biden's watch when this Israel stuff went on. Yeah. He's the one that did it. Like, they bombed those bases and stuff. He was like, on your watch. I'm like, dude, you just told on yourself, man.
He was confused. He forgot what year it was.
Maybe he thinks he's Trump now.
Oh, man. That'd be cool.
Dude, I'm going to be honest with you. Milana, Jill, seriously. Jill, the doctor. I will say that Trump had the best looking first lady, I think.
Yeah, she's cute.
She's a beautiful lady.
She is beautiful.
We're getting way off again.
Yeah,
go back.
Yeah, we might do this for another session.
Yeah, the first ladies of the president.
There you go. That'd be a good show.
And to get off topic again, why is it that the women in Congress that are Republican are attractive, and the Democratic women, most of them, besides like AOC, they're not very attractive.
And Nancy was the bomb.
When was Nancy good looking?
Must have been 1920. That crazy woman old.
I think her husband hit himself with a hammer.
I think so. I think he tried to take himself out.
He said, I can't do it anymore. If she walks in here naked one more time. I'm sorry, we're getting way off.
We're way off.
We're probably violating all the TikTok.
Yeah, we're going to be banned on our fourth show.
We're going to get hate mail.
You can't please everybody.
I'm sure that's the same thing Nancy says to her husband.
Now you're way off. I ain't even going to touch that.
I'm sorry.
I had a piece of paper here, I tear it up like she did.
Yeah, tear up my notes.
Way out, bro.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right. Back to the subject. Sorry, guys. All right. And then the next thing he went into was the January 6th stuff. And I thought the best moment of Trump all night was when he answered the January 6th comment. When he said, you know what, Joe? January 6th, gas, we had a secure border. January 6th, you could afford groceries. January 6th, you could afford gas. And he went on and on and on. I thought that was a great answer.
Well, that, and he said, most of the people were unarmed. And they were invited into the White House.
There's videos
where they were invited into the warehouse. The White House, not warehouse.
I got y'all. You're thinking about Nancy now, aren't you?
Oh,
Lord. That, and then the thing he said about the riots, and I don't think he articulated very well about it, but I would have said, like, hey, wait a minute. You put all these guys in prison for January 6th. I mean, some of those guys got 20-year sentences. And
it should have been a misdemeanor slap on the wrist.
And nobody says it was right, but you had these people literally burning down buildings, hurting people, beating people up, closing down highways, and you let them off the hook completely.
Well, they go out there and set up piles of rocks so you can throw bricks. And then it's just...
And so that January 6th thing, I think he did a really good job on it, and that's one of the other things that I think has gotten way out of hand. And I hope he does let some of those guys out because it's just ridiculous. Those guys, I'm not saying it was right by no means, but it just got way out of hand, and the sentences are way off. I mean, that's just bad.
What do you think about Terminator? Oh, move.
And then right out of that, he started talking about the police, how Trump doesn't like the police.
Yeah,
and I was like, wait a minute, aren't you the same dude that was campaigning right before the election before that we should defund the police?
Well, the whole Democratic Party was talking about that. Talking about if you see any MAGA people to go out there and disrupt their life.
That was that Walters lady, wasn't it?
Yeah. Maxine Walters, yep.
And that's the other thing that got me.
And Pelosi.
And Pelosi. It's the other thing that got me. He says, will you denounce any political violence? I'm thinking, I don't know if, and I could be wrong. There might be cases, but I don't know of any cases where like conservatives like lose their mind and hurt people, block the road, tear stuff, and they're going to say January 6th, but okay, take that out of the equation. But where conservatives like do all the crazy, wild thing when they don't get their way. Now we talk trash, I mean we do, but I don't remember anybody like breaking stuff or burning stuff.
We don't burn our neighborhoods down. We don't.
That don't make
burn
sense.
Down Target or CVS.
I never did understand that.
I don't understand that.
And if we did, we would be prosecuted. 100%. Look at the January 6th people. Like that's the one thing I didn't get about the January 6th and the riots and why he didn't push that a little bit further. Like I think he could have pushed it further. I like when he said, he talked about it earlier. I like when he said, I did not have sex with a porn star. If you had a betting pool that ever in the history of presidential debates, dude, you'd win like tens of millions of dollars. Like I never thought now I kind of figured it was going to come up this year, but I never in a million years before this all went down thought that would be one of the answers from a president. I did not have sex with a porn star. I mean, Bill did say I did not have sex relations with that lady.
Well, what difference does it make if they had sex with a woman besides their wife? I know it goes against all the beliefs and my biblical beliefs, but, that don't make it no better or worse to be a president, I don't think.
No, I mean, there should be a difference.
I mean, there should be some kind of
There should be a difference. I mean, absolutely. We all want our president to be more. We all want our president to be more.
He said he didn't do it. I wasn't there. You weren't there.
No.
So, truthfully, we don't know.
And if he did do it,
I don't care.
And I kind of think he's stupid for doing it because, like I said, his wife is good looking.
And why would he cheat on that?
I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't understand it.
He kept saying, by the way, over and over again. By the way. He'd be talking about something and go, by the way. And I was like, I wanted to comment because if you had to play a drinking game or something, you were really drunk after you did that. Because I saw all these bingos and drinking games for the debate. If you had by the way, oh, you were tore up.
By the way.
He would just be talking to go, by the way.
What you looking at, Baden? What you looking at on the disc?
And he kept saying curse words. That bothered me.
He did let a few slip.
And he kept saying them, and
I don't know if Trump said any.
He said hell. I think Trump said hell one time. And we're all adults. I'm not saying we're not. And I say cuss words too sometimes, and I don't like it.
We're not perfect.
Absolutely. The only person perfect ever on this earth was Jesus Christ, and I ain't him. But
and he died and rose again 3 days later.
Amen. That's why we're still here, being able to do this crazy stuff. But we're all adults, but I just think it doesn't show a lot of presidential class. And then, dude, I get it. I voted for Trump, and people are going to be like, "Yeah, your guy shows a lot of class." I get it. I'm just saying it's a debate. You're going to talk. I just think there was no reason for the cursing. I don't think it added to what he was saying. Then the other thing that he did, and the hour about the hour mark, I noticed he started pepping up a little bit, like the drugs kicked in. You know what I'm saying? Like
he did get peppy on there.
Yeah, like he was really slow at the beginning, and about the hour mark, I noticed his eyes got real wide, and he pepped up a little bit. Like he got a little spunk in it. He still was discombobulating, but he had a little pep. And somebody said online somewhere, they said they gave it to him too early. Like they gave whatever they gave him, they gave it to him too early because it kicked in at the wrong time.
I can see that.
And then the next thing he talked about was fentanyl machines. We need the fentanyl machines at the border. What in the heck is he talking about?
Is that like
and somebody smart out there, feel free to leave us a comment in there.
Is that X-ray?
And tell us what it is. Maybe we just don't know. But we need to spend the money for the fentanyl machines on the border. So let's don't spend the money on the border patrol, keeping illegals out. Let's spend money on fentanyl machines. And I don't even know what the heck a fentanyl machine is. Now, Trump was talking about a dog, about the super dogs that could sniff the fentanyl. Dude, maybe it's something, it's a real thing, but I get it. But both of them kind of lost me on that. But
how do you know if it's got? I couldn't look at it and see.
I don't even know what fentanyl looks like.
I guess you had to test it. I don't know.
I mean, I guess. But I'm just trying to figure out what machine he's talking about and take it to the border. I mean, it has to be a pretty darn big machine. I mean, how about we just hire more border patrols? And speaking of the border, I loved how Joe said, and the border patrol supports me. They endorse him. And it wasn't 2 seconds on Twitter or X, whatever it's called. They're like, just to let you know, we never have and never will endorse Joe Biden. I was like, ooh.
That's crazy.
That was a little below the belt on that one.
That was. Swing, batter.
And then he started talking about some Middle East chips.
What was that?
I don't know. I was like,
talking about the chips for the cars, like when China was holding them or not even making them.
Maybe he's talking about the chips that we use for like electronics and stuff. But he kept saying the Middle East chips.
Maybe he's talking about the Lay's potato chips. Or combos. Maybe he has some combos.
They'll be a little stale if we get them from the Middle East by the time we get them.
How about talking about the price of pickup trucks?
Oh, here we go.
I don't know.
Who's talking about the price of pickup trucks?
I said, how about we talk about that?
Oh.
$100,000 for a pickup truck.
Well, that's a whole other episode, man.
Well,
we're talking about the two candidates. We've already gone off base talking about Nancy Pelosi.
All right. Well, let's just.
Now we're starting to sound like the next topic I was going to bring up. They started talking about their golf swings.
Oh yeah. Well,
and
I'm a 400. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It's just restricted for some audiences.
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
We'll worry about that later.
Hopefully, it's still recording this.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, I got a 400.
400 what?
Par.
You lie like a dog.
I'm good.
I'm terrible at golf. But one where it was funny that they mentioned it. But anyone on the planet that thinks Joe Biden can hit a ball far,
no, that ain't right.
Trump was going to whoop him.
Trump would whoop him, but I don't think Trump can hit it that far.
I watched it. Trump has a weird swing, man. Like that belly hits.
Is he like?
It's a weird one. It's just I saw it, and maybe I just saw the video I saw, but it's weird. But anybody that thinks Joe could out hit Trump is crazy. But again, we're getting off. But the golf thing was a little bit weird to me. I don't know why they're talking about it. And I know where Trump was trying to go. He was trying to talk about the health of Joe Biden. And it hit, but it was just, and at least it was near the end of it. So that was kind of cool. Already talked about that. Oh, and then in his closing statement, he said, when he was talking, I don't know exact word for word but he said, I want to tell you, all you in the audience.
Yeah, in the audience. Hello.
I was like,
there's nobody out in the audience.
Joe, you got as much audience in that debate as we do in here in this garage, man. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was right up there, Joe.
I was like, man, you did good, bro. Rocked it out, man.
I think it was good, though.
But
at least they both showed up. had a few words, and they talking about doing it again September 10th. So
I don't think they will. Do you think they'll have another debate?
They gonna have to try and do something to get his poll numbers up.
I don't think they will. And dude, I've listened to the talk now. Even Democrats are talking about replacing him. You know,
Well, that's pretty bad. Yeah, it's still going.
what is that little thing on there? I don't get it.
I don't know what. That's something we got to figure out on the live show.
Yeah, live restrictions for
So might want
somebody.
to go ahead
Finish it?
and finish out,
Okay. Well,
just in case it ain't recording.
Okay.
Our camera's doing something funny, so we just got to.
It's something from TikTok that says live restricted for some audiences. I don't know. We might have said something bad. Maybe
Yeah.
when you talk about Nancy Pelosi naked.
I didn't say nothing about her naked.
Anyway,
That'd be
from the
nasty.
debate, I thought Trump did very well. I thought he stayed calm. He sounded better than I've ever heard him talk. I think he acted presidential. I think that he left some things unanswered. I don't think he just answered directly some of the stuff that he really could win on. But all in all, I think he did good. I think Joe Biden, man, I think it's time to hang it up, man. Like, I think Joe Biden's policies are bad. I mean, I really do.
You need to retire, boss man.
But man, he is so frail now. It's at a point now where it is literally elderly abuse. And let the man just go retired, save some dignity for himself, and just be done. You know,
I agree.
like me for voting as a Republican, keep him in there because there's no way Donald Trump loses this unless he does something stupid.
I don't see that.
But you know, do you think there's anything that besides Trump screwing it up? Do you think there's anything Joe could do to win this? If it's fair.
Honestly,
If
no.
it's fair.
If they play fair, no. But
Yeah, I don't see a road to do it. I mean, there's people out there that are going to vote for him just because they simply hate Trump. Like I saw comments online how people are like, I don't care. I refuse to vote for Donald Trump. So I'm voting for Biden just because Trump's a jerk.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, that guy could be a jerk all he wants as long as I can pay my bills.
or like his tweets, his mean
Yeah.
tweets. Come on, people, grow up.
I don't know. Well, hopefully it's worked out. We got a recording for Tuesday. Thank you guys that have come along on this ride with us.
Yep.
We'll look
Been
later and
fun.
see how many people checked it out, I guess, or we'll find out something.
We'll try again later.
Hey, we're going to probably start trying to record our episodes live, and they come out on Tuesdays. Two Dudes in a Garage on YouTube, and Two Dudes in a Garage podcast on Facebook. And we're setting up. We set up a Two Dudes in a Garage Instagram. We're just getting it started, and we have obviously got the TikTok. Thank you guys for checking us out.
Yes.
Man, we really appreciate it. We do this for fun, but it makes our hearts warm up when we see people actually checking out our stuff and liking the things we do. And hopefully you think similar to us. If you don't, we'll listen to that too, man. And if there's something that you can think we could do better or you want us to talk about, we'll talk about it. As always, all the glory goes to God, our Father,
Yes.
Jesus Christ, our Savior. We would not be here without him.
All the
Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. Love you. God bless.